Hey guys, Survival here, and welcome to the second episode of Homestead Cooking. Today we're going to cook up an absolute staple here at the Assessed Bushcraft and Survival Homestead. This is snags and pasta. Doesn't sound like all that good a combination, but in reality it actually is. It is actually quite surprising how two rather innocuous items can join together to form a beautiful meal. Let's get cooking. So, today's ingredients include chicken stock, a mushroom soup concentrate, fish sauce with a little bit of lime juice concentrate added to it, chili garlic paste, and sriracha, some dehydrated sweet onions, as well as a healthy dose of black pepper sauce. Some snags. These ones here happen to be pork snags. However, you could use beef or chicken snags or any other snag that is your favorite, as long as you can easily poach it. And lastly, here is our pasta. Today we're going to be using some elbows. They're a personal favourite here at the Assessed Bushcraft and Survival Homestead, as due to their shape, they travel very well when you chuck them in your pack and take them out bush. As a result, we have a lot of them on hand. And just in general, as with all our cooking here at Assessed Bushcraft and Survival, a little dash of pink Himalayan salt just to round it all off. So let's get cooking. So I'm just going to add some already boiling water to this pot. It's approximately half a litre. And we'll turn the medium burner on to about 50%. We'll just give it a moment to get some heat through it and into the pot. So now we'll add our chicken stock cube, as it will take the longest to dissolve of our initial ingredients. And we'll just give it a little bit of a stir, just to keep it moving, to ensure it dissolves and that it doesn't burn onto the base of the pot. Now that the stock cube has dissolved, we're going to just carefully add the snags. We want them to poach gently. Gently slide them in, ensuring that they don't splash. Gently stir them so as to keep them moving, as you do not want them getting burnt on one side, and you want them to cook as evenly as possible. The water level is barely enough to cover them. This is what we want. Now we'll give them a few minutes. While we're letting them get ready, I'm going to prepare one of the optional ingredients. For this dish, optional ingredients can be anything and everything you want to add. For me, it's usually a little bit of chive paste and some prawns. So today, I don't feel like chives. I don't feel like any chive paste, so I'm just going to go prepare some prawns. The pre-cooked type, and they've got their tail off. So they're ready to just grab out of the freezer, rinse them off, chuck them in towards the very end. So the snags have been added a while now. I want to check how far done they are. So I'm just going to grab one, place a spoon underneath it, using a knife. I'm just gently going to cut through it, and see just what the cross section looks like. It's looking mostly done. So I'm going to turn the stove off. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to carefully cut them into sections about 1 inch in length. Now, as this dish centers around the compounding flavours and the building of flavours, we're going to leave that little bit of water with that stock and any flavours that have come out of the pork snags. We're going to leave it in the pot. As you can see, we've diced the snags. We're going to keep them on the plate for now and just leave them at the side. The residual heat will give them a little bit more cooking. However, we need to get some other ingredients going before we reintroduce them to the pot to do the absolute last little bit of cooking. So now we're going to have to re-liquefy our mushroom soup concentrate. So I'm going to turn the burner back on to about 50%. And I'm going to add the concentrate. It looks kind of like a jelly, but it's a very tasty, flavourful mushroom soup concentrate. Reduce it, it will return back into a beautiful soup with a great, lively mushroom flavour. The reason, in case any of you are wondering, why we're not using the lid of the pot is to allow any steam to escape and as such minimise the liquid content of this dish whilst keeping the majority of the flavour. Now you need to definitely stir this soup concentrate as it is very prone to burning on if it stays in one spot too long. Now that that is dissolved, I'm going to add my remaining ingredients except for the pasta. So to start, fish sauce and lime juice concentrate. The fish sauce will give a phenomenal beef flavour to any dish. It's one of the great flavour enhancers. I'm going to back the burner off to about 25%. The trick with using fish sauce is to go easy on it. Less is more, you can always add a little more. You don't want it to get sickly. So as you can hear, this is getting a lot of heat in it because there's natural oils and that found in the fish sauce. So I'm going to back this burner off to a very, very tiny gas flow rate. The flame is at its lowest setting. Now I'm going to add the dried onions and the black pepper sauce. You're probably wondering, why did I put the black pepper sauce on them? Well, I wanted to help start rehydrating them. Plus, the two flavours don't really clash. And now I add it in because it's going to need a little longer to rehydrate than the other remaining ingredients. With the exception of the pasta, which can be cooked in literally 1 to 2 minutes by simply adding it to boiling water. This onion needs about 5 in order to rehydrate and let all that beautiful sweet flavour come shining through. So just stir this up because we don't want the black pepper sauce clumping, we don't want it burning. Now we add the chili garlic paste and sriracha. It's just to add some nice warmth to it. Stir that through nicely. So as you can see, I've put a pot of water on to boil. In order to get it boiled quickly, I'm using a high burner at maximum capacity. For now, I'm going to turn the medium burner off. And I'm just going to gently stir from time to time, just to ensure that nothing settles, that no sediment forms on the bottom, that everything just keeps melding beautifully. That smells absolutely delicious. As this water's boiling, I'm just going to add a little bit of pink Himalayan salt. In order to keep the handles cool and usable, I've rotated the main pot 90 degrees. That way, no heat is getting directly sent into the handles. As you can see, I've added the pasta to the boiling water. I'm just going to gently stir it little by little, just to ensure that it doesn't stick. It has taken some heat from the pot, however, it will very quickly come back to a boil. Beautiful pink Himalayan salt will add an absolutely amazing flavour to it, and unlike other salts, you don't need anywhere near as much to get the same effect. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Now that we have a very nice boil again, the pasta should only take 1 to 1.5 minutes to cook. Just going to gently stir it to keep it moving so that none of it burns onto the pot. This type of pasta we don't need to add any oil to prevent sticking, you just have to keep it agitating. So while I wait on the pasta, I'm going to reintroduce the snags to the main pot. They're going to start sucking up some of that additional heat and they're going to start sucking in all that beautiful flavour. And we just stir the snags through a little. So as you can see, the pasta is getting there. It's about half done. If your pasta is a little older, just run it a little longer. Keeping it at the boil like this is perfectly fine. Yes, the longer you store your pasta, the slightly longer you'll need to cook it. Now when I say longer, I don't mean double the time or add a minute. Simply keep an eye on it, but it will require usually an extra 15 to 30 seconds. Taste it as you go. If you're unsure, taste it. Does one piece taste right? If so, you know it's all ready. We're going to reintroduce heat to the main pot to about 50% on the gas, just to start re-imparting actual heat into the dish and the snags that we've added back into it. So I've just turned my pasta off and I tasted one piece using a fork. That pasta is ready. Now I have to carefully drain the boiling water from it. So I used a colander to drain the boiling water from the pasta and ran a little bit of cold water over it. I placed the pot on a cold burner in order to just let it naturally cool down. Now I'm going to add the pasta to the main pot. And I'm going to add the prawns. Give it a good stir. And now, when the prawns are ready, the snags will be ready, the whole dish will be ready. We don't have too much fluid, the flavours are strong. I can smell them from all the way back here. I'm just going to turn the burner to its maximum setting. It is a medium burner because we want a gentle heat, we don't want a ridiculous high heat that's out of control. Not long now till our food is ready. So now we're starting to get a lot of heat back into the pot. The pasta is still tasty. It hasn't gone mushy. The snags are fully cooked through. I verified this by cutting a piece in half. It's completely cooked all the way through. Just have a little bit more heat to impart in it. The prawns are absolutely ready to be eaten. So I reckon about one more minute and it'll be ready to serve. So I've just turned the stove off. This dish is completely ready to serve. Here you go, Snaghetti. I've simply added a little grind of fresh black pepper over the top, just for a little bit of extra kick. Snaghetti, an easy, quick to prepare, flavorful, filling dish that is sure to liven up any meal. This type of food is definitely comfort food. It's not the prettiest looking, I'll grant you that, but it tastes absolutely phenomenal. And remember, stay safe in the bush.